Thanks as we continue to roll through our recap of week 5 in college football. And the fireworks did get started on Friday night as a top 10 team went down. It was the Florida State Seminoles taking their first loss of the season. Coming up in a little bit, we'll talk about where we expect them to fall in the new top 25 rankings. A complicated resume for the Noles, as the team that they beat as their best win just won, and yet they lost to an unranked team. Those things are going to make things a little bit complex and complicated for voters, but more on that later. Bud, an early couple turnovers, early 14-0 hole, but then you end up losing in overtime. Like, is it as simple as they didn't start good, or was there anything a little bit deeper or more concerning for the Seminoles? And conversely, is Virginia an ACC championship contender? Because they are a Chandler Morris throws it to the wrong team in the end zone away from being undefeated and being one of those teams that you're kind of like poking up out of your head out of the sand, like, wait, what, how good is Virginia? And asking those kinds of questions.
Yeah. So I don't think they're an ACC championship contender, to be honest. No.
I think you can be an ACC championship contender. I think I've decided, especially after Georgia Tech Wake Forest earlier today, and after spending too much time watching Louisville Pitt, and after what we've seen from SMU this year, I think anybody can make it to Charlotte and lose to Miami.
But Tech is not a reliable fit. Like, they're not a reliable favorite. Like, they're not a team that goes out as a 14-point favorite and covers it. Like, they're a team that like is really good at keeping stuff close, you know. Or like, you know, slaying the dragon and playing that underdog role because they hold on to the ball, you know, for so long. All right. So on the FSU stuff, yeah, like I think the poor start certainly hurt them, right? Like I do think that like sequencing in terms of when things happen to you in a game can matter in terms of like giving the opponent belief. And, you know, like their first 2 drives, Florida State comes out and gets immediate stops, right? And they move it, they fumble immediately on the one, and then on the other one, the kid makes a great play to bat that ball up in the air and catch it on the interception. And so you're kind of like, all right, it's going to be one of those kind of nights. That's really disappointing, you know. I thought that Morris did a really good job getting the ball out quick and being super accurate and decisive with his stuff. Like, that was largely what we thought they were probably going to do, and you'd have to tackle well. And I thought, like, UVA's receivers, they fought through tackles hard, man. Like, they repeatedly got from like 2nd and 9, you know, ball caught for 4, dragging a defender for an extra 3 to get to a very manageable third, right? Like you know, a 3rd and 6, you know, ball caught for 2, drag for 4, get to a 4th down you can actually make. I think they were like 11 of 15 on 3rd and 4th down combined. And it largely felt that way, right? Like the defense couldn't get off the field. They had trouble fitting some of the run stuff. I thought UVA played really well overall. Like, that's probably about as good as UVA can play, I think. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but like that's pretty much the game style they have to play, and they played it and played it extremely well. And I don't think Florida State played their best game, and they're not good enough to roll out there if the other team plays really well, you know, to just, you know, walk over somebody if you don't also play well. So that, to your point, as far as like, you know, some of the breaks and stuff, yeah, like if Wilson catches the pick 6 as opposed to having it hit off his hands and bounce up in the air for a 60-yard gain, then it's probably a good night, right? Because and you're going up by what, 17?
Yeah.
So, you know, but that's what happens. I think there's certain things that are like very discouraging defensively in that game.
I was going to say my headline coming out of this is like Florida State's defense is not special,
and they probably should have scored 50. To be honest, I'm more disappointed in the offense, to be frank, because I don't have super high expectations for the defense. I don't think they have very many like special high quality players in that front 7. I do think they have a lot of really good pieces on the offense, and, you know, coming out of there and not scoring 50 with that many opportunities, I feel like is disappointing, actually.
It was a stupid game. I enjoyed the hell out of it, but it was a stupid game. Like,
it was entertaining.
Dumb. Yeah. There's not to take the focus off of the Seminoles, but in the heat on Bud and Danny here. But there was one tweet I got last night which really made me giggle. It came from Jim Wynn. When are we going to start talking about the son of Chad Morris leading Virginia to 4-1 under a former Clemson coordinator while Dabo looks cooked?
Sure.
So Chad Morris was a former, for those who don't know, was a Clemson offensive coordinator. His son, Chandler Morris, and Virginia's coach, Tony Elliott, is a former Clemson offensive coordinator. So I thought that was fun to amuse me.
Yeah, no, there was a Chad Morris as a kid standing next to Taj Boyd, like circa 2012 photo that was circulating as that was going down. So yeah, a lot of being able to connect some dots right there. I think that Chandler Morris is, as we mentioned, one of the last COVID quarterbacks that we've got. And when Chandler gets out there to scoot, him running is not like your blue chip 19-year-old running, like his decision of what I see, what I can do, like those are smart decisions that are being made. And that is really, really tough for a defense to account for. I thought he did an awesome job. I also think that it's important because while Tom, you mentioned Virginia and the conference schedule that they got when we were talking ACC win totals, breaking them down like this. It's a favorable draw. I don't think Virginia's going to win the ACC, but they are on pace with this win and this schedule to have the best season yet under Tony Elliott, as long as they're able to, keep track right here, which I think is going to be a really this is a nice win in what I think could be a really good season for Tony Elliott, who in this past offseason, and we detailed this, like Virginia didn't use the portal at all. They had 13 combined portal additions the previous 2 cycles. I mean, Bud, isn't it 30? I mean, it's a bunch. Yeah. It's a huge number. That was a coach that was on the hot seat, backed into a corner, had to win, got the resources together, did some evaluation, and then came the hard part. And the hard part is getting everybody on the same page so you can go win football games. And he and this staff have seemed to do a good job with that. Now they got to maintain that. You can't just feel like the season's over just because you got your first field storm in Scott Stadium in a long time. I mean, RIP Squirrel White. Talk about a squirrel getting run over.
I was legit worried about Squirrel White when I saw that.
Yeah.
Like terrified.
Yeah. I'm so grateful that Chris Budden came out and said something. What Chris offered, I believe it was this morning. She said, number one, she said it wasn't as scary on the field as it looked on the camera, like the crane camera overhead, which, I mean, I guess I can believe you. It definitely seems like it happens slower when you rush the field, like when you're actually on the field, than when it's looking at from overhead. But she also said that she contacted both schools and there were no injuries for players or staff involved. So that was a good thing. But for Tony Elliott, man, like this offseason, your tenure was at a fork in the road. You made some big swings. They seem to have paid off. So that's I like to give flowers when we can give flowers. Seems like things are going in the right direction for the Wahoos. So hope those nerds enjoyed it. Now you can go back to doing nerd stuff. I mean, dude, when I told multiple Florida State graduates about the grounds and first year, second year, third year, y'all know this, right? Mm-hmm. Virginia doesn't call it their campus.
Mm-hmm. The grounds.
They call it the grounds.
Yeah.
And they're not freshmen, sophomores, juniors, or seniors. They're first years and second years. I mean, just nerdy behavior.
They're nerds.
Huge nerdy behavior.
Huge nerds.